We are going into top 4 of Riley's Retro number 11, 2019 NAIC format tournament. And once again, we are seeing, it feels like I've said this every event, but our defending champion, Lee, will be seeing his perspective here with this baby Blacephalon deck up against a newcomer, Lanturn, with this crazy Nidoqueen, Meganium, Swampert, Stage 2 box deck. Y'all are in for a treat here. I'm extremely excited, and my co-caster Jeremy here, I'm sure you are extremely excited as well.
Definitely am. I'm stoked, over the moon right now.
So this one's going to come down to a lot of the Nidoqueen deck takes a long time to get stuff set up. And you picked, we did a little a prediction here in chat, and you went full send on Nidoqueen. But is that how you think this matchup is going to play out?
I'll be honest with you. It really all depends. And like, if the Nidoqueen deck can pop off really fast, it should do well. But it's a one prize matchup, right?
Right.
The Blacephalon player didn't lead the big Blacephalon GX. Where if they did that, I think it would be a complete landslide by Nidoqueen winning. But if they can take a 1 or 2 knockouts prior to Blacephalon knocking out, and Blacephalon can before Nidoqueen can take any knockouts, I think the Blacephalon would win. It's just a one prize card game, and what can be more consistent? That's really it.
Right, and I mean, it comes down to this Blacephalon deck, finding your attackers. It has so much. The thing about this deck is it has a lot of on-board recoverability. So you see that Stadium in hand, the Ultra Space, I think it's called.
Yep.
And you can use that to search out an Ultra Beast from your deck, put it into your hand so you can grab your attackers. There's also things like the Wishful Baton to keep energy in play. And then you have all these Fiery Flints to keep finding energies, ways to get them back into your hand with the energy retrieval. So this deck has a lot of on-board self-sufficiency, and it's going to come down to whether we can get that.
Another really notable thing about the Blacephalon deck as well, it actually only plays 5 prizes while the big Blacephalon is in the deck. So they don't ever need to really take the last prize of the game. They just have to get to 5, and then they just GX and win the game. Right. So it's kind of a shortcut of winning the game, which I think it definitely has an advantage in this matchup, where the Meganium deck needs 6 prizes. But the thing is, the Meganium deck can do what it's doing right now. If they take the first knockout and continue with that momentum, I think they just win.
Yeah, and it's also important to note that we're taking out this Prism Star Victini, which, and the double heads on Timer Ball always feels good. That's really huge. That's actually huge here. Getting another Meganium and the Swampert into play. Wow. Oh, this Nidoqueen is drawing pretty hot.
Nidoqueen is popping off.
Yeah. Also, thanks Gumi and Zach for hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Oh wait, Zach, you're not leaving. You're in top 4, aren't you? Don't leave. I saw bye and I thought you were leaving too. I'm like, bye. Wait a minute. No, you got a match to play. But yeah, we're gonna see the Queen's Call, and that's another thing we should talk about as well. Is that the added consistency? You're not leaving. Good. The Queen's Call. It lets you search for a Pokemon. Just once during your turn, the Nidoqueen lets you search for any Pokemon, put it into your hand, and that adds the consistency. These Meganiums that allow you to cheat evolution Pokemon into play. So for those of you who don't know, its ability allows you to choose one of your basic Pokemon in play and a stage 1 in your hand, and then you can evolve, a stage 2 in your hand, and you can immediately evolve into that stage 2. And this lets you cheat the evolution rule. So it's an ability that's doing this. You can actually use it on a Pokemon that was just put into play, which is incredibly powerful. And this deck really just has like that as a whole engine in combination with the Swampert, which has the power draw. Discard a card from your hand and draw 3 cards. So that's your whole engine, is to set up a bunch of these stage 2s. And then, of course, Nidoqueen doing more damage for each stage 2 in play, or each evolution in play, maybe?
It's each evolution in play.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we be real right now, though? This Blacephalon player is actually popping off just as much as the Nidoqueen player did. I am really happy to be watching this game right now, because they're both the problem with Standard is if one deck is being more lackluster than the other one's just going to win, right?
Right.
Where here, you see both of them popping off, doing what they're meant to do, and it's looking like a really good game. They both look like they're sequencing the game perfectly as well, which is awesome to see as well.
Yeah, and you love to see just decks that actually do what they're supposed to do. Like all the time, and you know, across various formats, but also in standard, sometimes decks just like they miss a beat and then they just get steamrolled. But here, both decks setting up really well. And it's funny you mentioned that, you know, Blacephalon is popping off, but you look at their board state compared to Nidoqueen and you're like, are you sure? Like
Yeah, it's definitely something funny to see. Just then, I'm not sure if using the Swampert would have been the better idea then. To see if you could just hard draw the I don't know. But hey, they're both playing it very well. It looks like it's a really good game. Yeah, this is I'll be honest with you, this is a great game.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Co-host with you, Riley.
Yeah, and I want to point out to the viewers at home, people in chat, and also on YouTube later, that this Nidoqueen deck was never really super popular at the time. I remember playing against it on the TCGO ladder. I'm sure people played it to like locals and stuff like that, but it wasn't really one of the more popular like meta-defining decks like this baby Blacephalon deck was. So getting to see something like this is really just so exciting.
Absolutely.
But, oh, we did get the Rescue Stretcher. Okay, I was like, I didn't see a replacement bench Pokemon, but we did get the Rescue Stretcher, so Lee will at least be able to survive another turn here.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just going to put this out there as well. I also understand why nobody played Malamar. I'm not sure if anybody realizes, but PCCGO does not like Malamar. I find that whenever it's played, it just doesn't do well.
Yeah, and actually finding this Wishful Baton here is huge. I just want to mention this as well, because it lets, when the Pokemon that is in the active gets knocked out with that Wishful Baton attached, you get to move the energy to a bench Pokemon. So this bench Blacephalon is going to be the recipient of those 3 energy, as long as there's no Field Blower. And finding the Blacephalon off the prizes is also big.
That's massive. That is, if there was a card you wanted to draw right now, being the Blacephalon player off your prizes, it would be another Blacephalon or a way to get out a Blacephalon.
Or like a Welder. Like those are like your 2 priorities here, is like getting attackers and attackers with energy.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic.
But Nidoqueen keeping up.
That's it.
And there's a Oranguru come down. I was just going to mention that. Tell us about this Oranguru. What is it doing here?
So this Oranguru lets you... Oh, this card made control decks broken. I think it was a card that was designed to just stop control decks, but it outright made them inherently over-the-top powerful. So it has an attack, I think it's called Resource Management, where it lets you get 2 cards from your discard pile and put them into your deck.
It's 3.
Three.
Yeah,
my bad.
Even better.
And it doesn't specify a trainer, energy, supporter, or Pokemon, so you can get any card out that you want. So it's good for special energies. It's good for really anything that's in the bin that you can't really get out with a rescue stretcher or anything like that. So in this game, I would imagine that would be very useful for those triple acceleration energies that are getting bins left, right, and center, and maybe potentially even some of the Nidoqueens that are dying. I do have a concern about it though, that if this, because right now this game is going 1-for-1. Every turn a player is taking a knockout. And if the Nidoqueen player doesn't take a knockout in one turn, the Blacephalon player goes ahead. So I would be a little bit concerned of having that, if that was a strategy.
Well, and you might have to. This Nidoqueen deck only playing, mostly special energy. I'm actually taking a quick look at the list because I wanted to mention this, that it needs to have a basic energy attached to it, since this deck only plays the triple acceleration energy, which can only be attached to evolution Pokemon. So, and also the super boost energy. So this deck does play 1 basic fire energy in looking at the list. And you might actually have to go into the Oranguru at some point to get those triple excels back, because you only have ways to take 5 prizes with all of your other energy. You have the 4 triple excels plus the 1 super boost. That's only 5 prizes right there, assuming your Pokemon gets knocked out for each one. So Can we talk about how we get a new, better non-flip Silene in the next format? Do we? I have
Do we?
no clue what that's in reference to, PJ, but I'm frightened to hear that, so... Oops. Our feed's going a little bit wonky here.
We love to see the rescue stretcher.
Yes, getting your Pokemon back is big. The stream was getting a little bit laggy and wonky there for a moment. Apologies, but we'll see what we can get here. And again, it's just finding these energies for Nidoqueen is going to be the biggest thing, but they keep finding them.
Can we also just say that the Nidoqueen player does only have 8 cards in their deck. So with the ability of Swampert being able to draw 3 cards and having 2 of them out, plus your draw for turn, assuming you don't have a supporter, it's drawing 7 cards each turn, which, let's be honest, that's a lot of cards. So being able to, the deck has the power of being able to draw these energies when you need it. Well, having a high chance about doing that. Yeah, so should be good.
And I'm looking at this board position currently, and with... Oh, please don't hover over the pass button. That makes me nervous. Looking at this board position for Lee, with the double nest ball, the fire energy, and the welder in hand, all kinds of things to continue your setup. It doesn't seem like Lee's going to miss a beat here. Also has the fire crystal in hand to get a KO with the energy that's already in hand as well.
I almost agree. Like, I 100% agree with you there too. I feel like if nothing happens to Lee's hand, I feel like it could quite possibly just be game from here.
And bringing up this Meganium, I wonder if there's a way to stall out from this scenario. And yes, this is game 1 star.
Yeah.
We see the Blazer.
Actually,
wow.
How many energies are in the bin?
Well, I think there were 3 triple XLs in there. But here's the thing, though, is Meganium cannot attack with a triple XL. It can retreat with it. Of course, you can attach retreat, but then you're not taking a prize this turn. You're not attacking this turn. And there you see the attachment to the Orangurus. This makes a lot of sense. Putting the energy in place, since there's really no other place you could have put that. And of course, now Lanturn did whiff a knockout this turn. But of course, Lee chose not to take a knockout last turn either. So still behind on prizes there. And we'll see what Lee wants to do here. Do you take out this Meganium, or do you try to leave it stranded?
I think this is a very, very smart play by the Baby Blacephalon player. Also, if Lee wins this, we're going to have to call it Riley's Retro.
Yeah. Lee would be the 4-time champion. But I'm looking at the deck list for Nidoqueen, and, well, this point goes away a little bit after the benching of this additional Blacephalon, but there was an outside chance that if Lanturn had prized their last triple XL, their only way to move this Meganium out of the active would have been Guzma. And if you don't have a bench Pokemon to bring up with Guzma, you cannot play it just to get the switch effect. It is an if-then card. Yep. So you actually could have potentially decked out this Meganium deck, stalled them out with that Meganium in the active, but that's under the assumption that the fourth triple XL is prize, which of course we have no way of knowing for sure. So definitely better just to play it safe.
I definitely agree, yeah.
Just up to 5 Pokemon. Oh, well, that's different than Silene, PJ. That's Pokemon, not any card. Guzzy, yeah.
Just showing the sheer power of this the fire support they got. Have in team up with the fire crystal, being able to get 3 fires back from your discard pile is just so good. And unfortunately, okay, so currently what the Baby Blacephalon player needs, well, no, they have the wishful baton. So the Baby Blacephalon needs, all they need is a way to get Big Blacephalon out and 2 energies plus the energies to be able to take a knockout on this the Swampert in the active to be able to close out this game. And there you go. That's a energy recycler. Exactly what they were needing, I think.
And you're looking
I think
at
there
this...
is a risk.
Well, but you're
So
looking at this, so I think this is kind of just a checkmate scenario, though, because the Nidoqueen deck is out of all their energy. All 4 triple excels are down. The boost energy is in the lost zone, which is what's being shown to us here. So you're going to have to go into the Oranguru if you're Nidoqueen. You have no choice. The only way to get your energy back on the following turn is with that Oranguru. So putting this Blacephalon down, and with the energy, access to so much energy in hand that Lee has, I think it's just checkmate on board as long as his hand isn't disrupted. And I don't think there's any hand disruption in this deck. There is not.
I definitely agree, and I think it was also really smart of Lee to attach all those energies to the baby Blacephalon, just in case there was a gust up to try to get the free retreat, or no, to try to stall out that retreat option. So I think yeah, it is pretty much checkmate.
Yeah, and especially putting the energies onto the benched Blacephalon, I don't think there's anything that Nidoqueen can do. Like you said, you can't now gust up this bench Blacephalon and hope that there isn't a way to accelerate the energy to it. This just feels like a checkmate scenario although, did we actually whiff the KO here? Because the baby Blacephalon, we can't actually hit because there's no fire energy left in deck. So we actually whiffed all the fire crystals are down. I guess you can go in with the Blacephalon. No, I think you're still fine though, because you can hard retreat and go into the Blacephalon and use Mind Blown to pick up the KO, and then just burst GX on the following turn. Yeah, exactly what Isla just said in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like that's definitely the play.
Or you could burst GX this turn into the Mind Blown next turn. Yeah, that makes more sense too. Keep the Swampert in the active where it's trapped. I like that line better, at least. You can burst here, yeah.
But also saying that, I don't think there's really any bad merit to taking a knockout on the Swampert, because what they're going to just resource management, then you just burst. I don't think there is a way that they actually ever take a knockout regardless.
Yep, and we do see the concession there. So I don't know what happened, but I guess Lanturn had to leave or something like that. So they actually did concede the second game to Lee. So Lee will move on to the finals after that first match. Unfortunately, we don't get to see more of this Nidoqueen deck, but we will see Lee returning to the finals again, and with this baby Blacephalon deck, yeah.